the reality of the Philadelphia Eagles winning Super Bowl 52 really, really hit me yesterday during that mammoth Eagles parade. We're going to talk about Super Bowl 52 right now from a film perspective. That is why Brendan Albert is here. So you did not enjoy the parade. You're there in Las Vegas, but you don't care. You're not an Eagles fan anyway.
Man, I'll tell you this, like, even though I'm not an Eagles fan, I'm a fan of Philadelphia. And, watching that parade, it was as close to bringing a tear to my eye as someone who truly is an Eagles fan. Just for watch the city of Philadelphia be able to celebrate that was just so meaningful. Watching Kelsey speak up there, just rip into things. And people are like, why are you so angry? I'm like, you guys are morons. He's passionate. There's such a big difference that people don't understand. And watching all of that, watching those 2 million people in the parade, seeing all my friends send me pictures from the parade, telling me they're up at, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, whatever. It's just, again, I'm not a fan of the Eagles, but I'm a fan of the city, and I'm just so happy for the city of Philadelphia. I was pulling for the Eagles all season. As long as it didn't affect my Ravens, I was thrilled. So I truly mean this in the bottom of my heart. I am so happy for the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, that Kelsey speech was amazing. And we're going to start with the Philly special. The reason why I'm going to bring this up first. So Patriots fans were complaining on Twitter that this was an illegal play. So, Brendan, you're going to come on here and explain why it was illegal play as I play this. That's what.
All right, so there's a couple things here, guys. Before you go into a game, high school, college, and, of course, in the NFL, if you have any trick plays, teams, coaches, captains will pull the referees aside and tell them about trick plays and tell them about the formation you're going to see, how guys are going to line up. So the refs have the opportunity to say, that's not legal because of X, Y, Z. So you have that opportunity to check it there. The second opportunity you have is when you'll notice here is Alshon's going to signal about where he's lined up on the line of scrimmage. So you have that opportunity to flag it there as well. And then, of course, let me just say this. There are 31 teams in the NFL who have the right to ever complain about the referees. The one team who never has the chance to is the freaking Patriots, man. You played an AFC championship game and had one penalty on you. Oh, big freaking deal. Even if this play was illegal, get bent, okay? Because you have made a career off of bad calls in the NFL. The tuck rule was made for you, okay? So, Patriots fan, don't give it to me. You have the least amount of wiggle room to complain about, oh, this play wasn't fair. I can show you entire careers of plays not being fair and why you have so many Super Bowls. So don't give me that.
Well, I'll tell you what. This play was just unbelievable. And the film study, it doesn't have the audio, so you can't hear Foles at the line of scrimmage there behind Lane Johnson. So I believe he goes kill, kill, and he sold this as perfectly as you can sell a trick play.
So much so. I love every bit about this. And my favorite thing about this, and I sent this tweet out, so if you guys don't follow me on Twitter or you haven't seen this, in next year's Madden, we're going to have Brady be better at everything than Nick Foles, except for his hands. That hands rating there for Nick Foles, baby, that's going to be higher than Tom Brady next season. It's just a beautiful play here. And you want to talk about putting a set on the table, just pulling up your set and just drop it there. Fourth down, you call timeout, and you let your backup quarterback call the play. That's awesome.
Wide open, baby. And guess what? This wasn't the first time that Nick Foles ran this play.
It wasn't. Nick Foles actually ran this play when he was in high school at Westlake, big powerhouse high school down there in Austin area. Ran the exact same play. Look at it here, guys. Look at the formation, about everything about this. Hey, we're going to go check the line. We're going to direct snap to the back. We're going to hand it around, and we're going to throw it. Oh. Almost on the exact same yard line, too. I mean, this is mirror images of stuff. So if you guys remembered on one of the film study me and Adrian did a while ago is, Coach Peterson said, hey, Nick, you tell me what you're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. I would be shocked if Nick Foles didn't put this play in.
Yeah, and we saw, obviously, the Showtime Inside the NFL special on this play by now, and it was Nick Foles who actually called the play. And then Doug Peterson having the confidence in Foles, like, yeah, let's do it. In a matter of 2 seconds, this play was called. This wasn't something that they thought about for an extended period of time. It was just, let's go, let's do it, and they went and did it.
Exactly right. When you watch the NFL film sound clip, he calls a timeout and Foles says, "Hey, how about Philly special?" And you see Coach Peterson sit there and he goes, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." I mean, that's just so cool to kind of see this. And I talked about this in one of our in my podcast that we do. So if you guys don't listen to our podcast, it's at Albert_and TD. You can find us all over Apple, on our website, etc. But
yes, sir.
On our podcast I talked about the Patriots aren't going to lose. Patriots don't lose games. You have to beat them. And the Eagles staff sat there and emptied everything in the playbook and said, we are going to run everything. We are going to gamble, and we're going to knock them out. And if we lose, we lose. But we're not going to leave any bullets left in the chamber.
Next play we're going to look at, Alshon Jeffries, 34-yard touchdown. Magnificent body control to go up and get this ball. Strong hands at the catch point. Times his leap perfectly. This is why he makes 50-50 balls turn into 80-20 balls.
Exactly right. Brandon Marshall had a great quote once that said, there's no 50-50 balls of Alshon. They're Alshon balls. They're all his. So what we're going to see here is Alshon's going to win with a really clean release off the line of scrimmage, outside release, not even going to get hands on him. The motion here, what that's going to do is that's going to freeze the safety, because what you're going to see is two crossing patterns right in front of the safety, which is just going to give him something to kind of hold his place. But because Alshon's going to win with a perfect clean release right here, this is going to give Foles the opportunity to just put it in the back pylon and say, go get it, big man. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. And this is a perfect throw, something that Doug Peterson did with Foles in this game. A lot of touch throws, which is something that Foles excels with. Not a lot of RPOs run, and to be honest with you, I wasn't surprised about that because I knew the Patriots would come in and be ready for that. So we saw a lot of these touch throws, and the offensive line did a great job holding Nick Foles upright. Barely really wasn't touched this entire game.
No, I mean, I jokingly said it to my buddies who I was watching the games with. I said, the first team who gets a sack might win the game. And coincidentally, that actually happened, with Brandon Graham. So, this was something that we talked about. We said the Eagles' defensive line had a massive advantage. The thing I talked about in my podcast is I said the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball and have a good offensive line. This is a clean pocket, man.
Yeah.
Be able to rip it and throw it. One of the things I always talked about, what I said was the prettiest thing from Carson Wentz is when he can rip it and take the mouthpiece out and put it in the earpiece because no one's going to touch him.
Look at that, to do that 180 in the air, kind of hold, I believe that was Eric Rowe there. Rowe was targeted early and often.
Yep.
So just great balance from Jeffrey. I mean, this is what he does. This is what he's known for.
One of the best body control receivers in the NFL. Certainly not the fastest guy in the NFL. One of the bigger ones, certainly a good possession receiver, but he's not necessarily known as a guy who's always going to be able to beat you with a vertical ball. He's going to win the contested throws, and he did it early and often here.
Yeah. Another one who had a huge game on Sunday, Cory Clemente, the undrafted product out of Wisconsin. We're going to look at his 55-yard reception on a wheel route, completely burns Jordan Richards. And then we see a stiff arm in the open field on Duron Harmon. Clement was just magnificent.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk all the time about the offseason, how important that is. I could argue that the best rookie was a guy who wasn't even drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles here. I mean, you talk about the teams who made big leaps, the Saints, the Rams, the Eagles, all because they had awesome off seasons. And obviously Barnett was a great steal. Hey, Sidney Jones might be a stud next season too, but Cory Clemente, man, just had a hell of a game here. For a while there, he might have been the MVP.
Yeah, Donnell Pumphrey who?
Exactly right. Exactly right. Now that Pumphrey pick doesn't look so bad anymore. So what we're going to see here is with this. Adrian, I'm sorry. Can we go back? Sorry, buddy.
Sure.
So what we're going to see here is this is going to be a wheel route here. And we talk all the time in our past podcasts about not being on, the same levels, right? Well, pause it, Adrian, as soon as the defense gets set. Okay? So as the defense gets set here, what you have to understand is the levels that they currently are lined up on is perfect. It's fundamentally lined up is correct. So what you're going to see at the snap is the corner is lined up in front of where the safety is. So the safety is behind him. So as you kind of can see this, Andrew, go back a little bit more, buddy.
Yeah, I picked the wrong play. I thought this was the one you wanted me to pause it.
That's okay. We can talk about it. This is a good one to talk about.
That's my bad.
So if we look at it here, you can see here the safety here lined up pretty much at the 40-yard line. This safety, exactly right. Thank you, Adrian. Because he's lined up behind the corner, he has to play over the top of the corner. He cannot rifle underneath it, because if you rifle underneath it, you're setting yourself up to get picked. And while he doesn't necessarily get picked here, because this is a wheel route, he instantly is going to have to play in the chase position. And unless you are a better athlete than the running back, which not always is true unless a guy like Legarrette Blount is running the wheel route, but Legarrette Blount would never run a wheel route.
He would never run a wheel route, no.
Right. So you can't rifle underneath this. So because he does this, he's setting himself up for failure right away. And Foles is going to read that. Foles is going to read, okay, you're going to try to play under this, then I'm just going to put a little loft over it, because the other safety, he's going to come inside of the box. So there's going to be no help over the top. So it's a great read by Foles, throwing with anticipation, which is something, Adrian, both you and I were kind of critical of Foles a couple weeks ago. Did a fantastic job in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, really did. So here we go. Well, kind of missed it there, but you see the point. Look at the separation that he gets on Richards, and then he's off to the races in the open field. The balance to even with that stiff arm, I mean, that was vicious.
Nasty. I mean, this is something that, for the last really 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, the Eagles really didn't have a guy out of the backfield who really scared you. I mean, Sproles obviously was that. Then you saw Nelson kind of had a couple snaps in the backfield-like situation. Ajayi did a little bit of stuff, but he's certainly not the really threat out of the backfield that you want to scare a defense with. So Cory Clemente had an unbelievable game out of the backfield.
I mean, he's running out completely unimpeded, hits Harmon perfectly. I mean, look at this. He's in full speed, and he doesn't lose the full speed.
No. I mean, he hit this play, and I remember I was watching at the bar. You could feel like everyone at the bar jump at the same time. It was awesome.
Yeah, amazing. All right, so we're going to see yet another Clement catch, and this one's a touchdown, another perfect throw from Nick Foles. This is at probably it's like midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, third quarter, 7:25 here, and this is going to be another one of those big plays where Clement out of the backfield. Clement, I think, was something like 70-1 odds to be the MVP at the start of the game. And Adrian, do me a favor. Let's pause it right at the snap here.
Okay.
So what we're going to see here is we're going to see a tight formation. Okay, so we see a tight formation here by the receivers on the left-hand side. So let's think of it defensively. I know we would never want to think of it as a Patriots player, but just to learn the game, let's think about it as a defensive standpoint. If we see
before Clement motions or
here's
right.
Perfect. Here's
okay.
perfect.
Right.
So as we see this, guys, look, you have your receiver here at the bottom of the numbers, a tight end, and a back all on the same side. One of these guys is going to be running towards the bottom of the numbers and out, because you're not going to put 5 guys on half of the field. That's just going to overload it, and you won't have enough opportunities for Foles to make a crisp, accurate throw. So one of these guys is going to come and either run an out route, a go route, something outside, right? So in this situation, we're going to get Clement running another wheel-like pattern here, okay? So with that, the read person that what Nick is going to read is if this play is good to go and let it rip is going to be Devin McCourty. So McCourty here, I believe this is him lined up right here, pretty much at the 15-yard line. Yep, exactly right. And what he's going to read is if McCourty turns his shoulders and Nick Foles can read that Patriots ugly logo on the front of his jersey, Nick Foles is going to throw it and let it rip over the top and make McCourty flip his hips and run. If Foles reads the back of his nameplate and can read McCourty in the back, he's going to say, McCourty read this perfectly. I'm going to have to check it down. So let's watch what McCourty does here and watch right before Foles throws the rock what McCourty's situation is. Right there, right? So Nick Foles is reading, okay, so Devin McCourty is going to have to flip his hips all the way around eventually to play man defense here. Yeah, I'm going to take my shot here. I'm going to put this ball right in the back of the end zone, and if McCourty can flip his hips, best case scenario, he's going to break it up. He's probably not going to make a Willie Mays-esque kind of interception here.
And he almost actually, he still played this pretty well considering he had to flip his hips all the way around. This was a tight window for Foles.
Tight window, but, we talked about this in past shows. a perfect ball beats perfect coverage almost every single time.
Yeah.
And that's what this was. I mean, look where this ball's going to get placed, man.
Actually, I was wrong. McCourty didn't get there. It was the other guy. My bad.
It's okay. But either way, I mean, it's still perfect, perfect placement.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Unbelievable. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at, because it wasn't just Nick Foles who was magnificent in this game. It was the offensive line and the running game. Stefan Wisniewski, Brandon Brooks, Halapulu Vati, everybody, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey. And the first play we're going to look at here is Legarrette Blount's 36-yard run. This came in the first quarter, 3:31 mark. So the O-line just dominates, and we see Blount making the proper cutbacks.
Yeah, this is something we don't know for Legarrette Blount for is his vision. And his big plays, both were on plays where he had a jump cut because he read a vision play. So when we look at this, you're going to see here that Legarrette Blount is going to jump back into the near A gap. Near A gap meaning to the left of the Kelsey here. And what he's going to read is he's going to read this linebacker right here is going to flow over the top. And when the linebacker starts to flow over the top here, Legarrette Blount knows, hey, if Big V can win this block on the best defensive lineman that the Patriots have, and he handles them, now I got a free lane here. I get about 6-7 yards of steam where no one's touching me. And as a defensive back, that scares the crap out of you when Legarrette Blount is not touched for the first 6-7 yards.
So the thing we're going to look at here from the end zone angle, Stefan Wisniewski completely washes Lawrence Guy down the line. You mentioned the pancake by Big V. And then also Brooks with a combo block.
Big time. Brooks had a great combo block here. Like I said, the front seven for the Eagles was just manhandling. But to me, it's Big V is the one who makes this block because Brown here was a first-round pick from Texas a couple years ago for the Patriots. So this is the only real guy in the front seven who's really worth a damn for the Patriots. And you had your backup left tackle just take him to the woodshed and beat his butt. And it's just an awesome manhandling block here. You can see here Brown is barely able to get like one finger on the hip there, but Legarrette Blount's way too big to get tackled by a paw. He's going to be able to run right through that. And now as a defensive back, you're thinking, just run out of bounds, dude. Don't make me hop on your back and ride you for 4 yards.
And there he goes, off to the races for 36 yards. The next thing we're going to look at, 21-yard touchdown scamper from Blount. Another just perfectly blocked play as well, and the vision from Blount once again. So this put the Eagles up 15-3. They could have went up 17-3 had Jake Elliott not missed the first extra point, and then they missed the two. So.
Yeah, we talked about that in our podcast too, how Jake Elliott is really good from 30-plus, but inside of 30, it looks like he got the yips, on the golf course sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, what we're going to see here, again, is going to be great vision here by Legarrette Blount being able to make a jump cut back inside here, and it's all because of Kelsey. Kelsey has absolutely earned the right to say whatever he wants, any press conferences, all offseason, because of the way he played here, man. He just absolutely dominated.
So we're going to see this run temporarily. Come on, snap the ball. Here we go.
We get a great combo block, and then we see up here that our left tackle is able to get up to the next level pretty much clean. Awesome block here by Selleck, a guy who never gets the credit he deserves, just brings the lunch pail to work, and that jump cut right there. That's what it was. You don't see it here, but Legarrette Blount slows down ever so slightly because he sees big Kelsey coming across the right, slows down ever so slightly so Kelsey can get a little bit of a clip, which allows Legarrette to jump cut back and now press it vertical, and now we're screaming fly, Eagles fly.
Yeah, so we'll see the end zone angle. We'll see Kelsey. He cut off Brown initially, and then Brandon Brooks took over on that combo. And then, obviously, we saw him get a piece of Roberts there on the second level. Selleck, you talked about that. Great combo block before kicking out Chung. So he helped Sayamalu out there. Just magnificent blocking all the way around.
Absolutely. I mean, this was just fantastic, putting on a clinic there for the offensive line for the Eagles. This is one of those games where you're going to sit back as an offensive line coach and just smile ear to ear because there's not much really to say.
And you can see Selleck right there.
Yep. And then here's the jump cut coming right now. Big man moving.
Dude, that's impressive. He didn't run into Kelsey.
I mean, you're not kidding, man. That's a big man moving. And his lateral quickness is not his ability. His vision is not his ability. On both of those big plays we talked about, he showed the fact that he can do it. So, awesome job for Legarrette Blount.
So, the last one we're going to see here came on a 3rd and 4. And something about Doug Peterson's play calling, it used to be very predictable. It used to be very vanilla, but it's unpredictable now. And at 3rd and 1, he was passing. 3rd and 4, he was running all over the place. I mean, Bill Belichick got out-coached in this game, and it wasn't even close, and he's never out-coached.
No, I mean, offensively, they were putting on a clinic just as a coaching staff. I mean, almost everything was called at the right time. I think I remember correctly, there's only one punt in the entire game, too.
Yeah.
I mean, so both teams here just put it all on the field. What you're going to see here on this play, guys, is it's the fact that Kelsey wins clean at the nose tackle is going to allow Brooks to get up the second level quicker because Brooks doesn't have to double team. He doesn't have to check because he can feel that Kelsey's winning at the point of attack. So Brooks is going to be able to get clean up to the next level to go and get a backer. And then eventually what we're going to see here is we're going to see Wiz pull. Now this play is going to be designed to be a C-gap run, meaning outside of the offensive tackle. But because we see it, that we don't see Wiz is able to get clean around Lane Johnson, we're going to see that Jay's going to cut it inside, run a B-gap here, and then we're going to see Wiz go up there and get a nice block, and now we're off and running.
Yeah, so that was supposed to be a trap block initially, correct? And then he went and got Chung on the second level.
Yep, exactly. I mean, you're just going to be able to see, Kelsey having a great job here of winning at the point of attack, and that's really what allows Brooks to be able to get a full head of steam. And look, 300-pound men and a full head of steam get a linebacker, he's going to win it every time. So watch Big 79 here. He's going to put a little hand here on Kelsey's man to see how he's doing, but you're going to see Kelsey's going to win this clean. Little feel. All right, Kelsey's got this hand. I can come up clean. Now, Wiz realizes he can't get outside. So now we see Jai, going to cut in because he realizes Patrick Chung has outran himself out of this play. And now we get Jay Ajayi and the train's rolling down the tracks.
And Burton's giving him a pat on the back as he gets through the hole.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, little man. Keep moving.
All right. So the last thing we're going to look at is Jalen Mills. He got matched up against Rob Gronkowski a pair of times in the first half. Gronk was limited to 1 catch for 9 yards in the first 30 minutes. Obviously got to go in the second half. They took Gronk away from Mills. So this was something they tried to exploit. They blind him out wide. He got matched up against Jalen Mills, and twice Mills was wagging the finger.
Yep, he gave it to Kimbe. And we talked about this, Adrian, on podcast, and we've talked about this on our YouTube channels. You're not going to stop Gronk. I mean, you're just going to help to contain him kind of thing. But this is going to be a great job here. We talk about levels, right? So look pre-snap here. We're going to get a slant out combination. Gronk's going to run the slant. Slot receiver's going to run the out. So when we talk about this, again, we talked about this earlier in that wheel play that Clement hit for a big play. Now we do a better job because the Eagles are a better defense than the Patriots. We see the safety is going to get over the top, corner's going to get under it and be able to get hip to hip. And it's a really clean transition here. There's no rub situation because these two DBs play it perfectly. And Jalen Mills just plays it perfect, honestly.
Yeah. And this is the good old glove technique.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Being able to get that hand right inside, get it right between the two hands for that receiver and bat it away. It's just perfect play, man.
Wow. So maybe we'll see a better angle here in the end zone. Maybe this will show it. But just perfect.
It's fantastic here.
Yeah. I mean, this is Gronk.
And a great job here, too, by Nigel getting in there to shrink the window.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not an easy thing. And then you're able to see that we're able to get that left hand in. The upfield hand in is always going to be longer than the backhand just because of the way that the distances of the ball are. So he does a nice job here of Jalen getting that left hand in and breaking this play up.
So the second play we're going to look at with Mills, while this was good coverage, there was also a great rush from Brandon Graham on this play. And Brandon Graham had an unbelievable game. The Eagles' defensive line didn't really get as much pressure as I thought they would in this game. But Brandon Graham came out to play, and this was one of the few times that Brady did get pressured enough where he couldn't complete the pass.
Absolutely. The Eagles did not get home the way that we were expecting them to.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't expect. We said, hey, they're going to get a couple sacks. Wasn't able to until the most important one at the end. But the hurry here, what you're going to see here is Brandon Graham's going to do a great job of collapsing the pocket and give Brady nowhere he can step up into. And to be honest with you, if he doesn't do this, this is a completion. This should have been a completion, but it's the fact that Brandon Graham is able to shrink the pocket and not give Brady anywhere to step up into.
Look how wide he is. I mean, he's lined up as the D tackle, but he's still wide there. Being long.
Yep. And that allows him more speed to get more power and be able to push the guard back into the pocket because you're not worried about Brady scrambling up the middle here. You're not worried about him doing this.
Yeah. So we're going to look at the end zone angle. One of the several times that he was lined up as a D tackle. I mean, look at that. Look at the space between Graham and Cox there.
Yeah. I mean, if you're playing Cam Newton or Russell Wilson, maybe you don't, widen this much because these guys actually can beat you with their feet.
Yeah.
Brady's not going to beat you with his feet.
Nope. I think we saw this in the Jags tape that we re-reviewed as well. A lot of the same looks. And there you go. There's Graham.
And it wasn't necessarily about the sacks. It was about the hits and it's about the hurries. And that's really what the Eagles were able to do. They weren't able to get the sacks that they wanted, but they were able to get the hurries. I mean, they had nine quarterback hits. Yeah. I know it's not a sack, but, I mean, you just want to keep getting to them. And you know what? The Eagles were able to win in a shootout. So you win, it's all that matters in the end of the day. And like I said, the one sack was the only sack that mattered.
And that was this one right here. So, okay. What the fuck? All right, it's playing. So I didn't initially show this play to you. Well, actually, I didn't send it to you because I forgot, so that's my fault. But this is the play that won the game.
This is the play that won the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to talk about here. It's essentially almost what we just saw. So he's able to split and get to Brady. So and then Barnett.
Speed to power. He's able to get the speed to power and get his hand on the ball. One of the knocks on Brandon Graham was he doesn't have long arms. So, was able to use every inch of it, break this ball away, and now Barnett, the rookie, is able to take this ball home and put it in his trophy case.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't kidding. He's definitely putting that ball in his trophy case.
I mean, think about this, guys. Brandon Graham was drafted, 9 years ago, right? And if I remember correctly, this was the offseason right after Brian Dawkins had left and retired, and the Eagles traded up to get him. And I remember sitting next to Tony at the time, and I said, they just traded up to get Earl Thomas.
Yeah, everybody said that.
Tony was like, oh, thank God, I needed a safety, and they drafted Brandon Graham, and he was booed loudly about this pick.
Yeah.
And you know what? He has made every one of the people swallow that boo and say, even if you only made one play the rest of your career, it's the only play that matters right now.
I'm not sure if you know this, but something Brandon Graham is known for, he blocks a lot of people on Twitter. Well, he made a bet with Jimmy Kempski, and Kempski said, if you win the Super Bowl, you have to unblock everybody. Jimmy Kempski went into his account, unblocked everybody.
Ooh, that's bold. That sucks. I'll say this. Social media is not the place to go for positive reinforcement. So as a professional athlete, that must suck. So I don't blame them for blocking guys. But, hey, win the Super Bowl, whatever. You can talk all the junk you want to me as long as you say this, Super Bowl champ first before you talk junk to me. I'm cool with it.
You know what they said, all those people? Just like Jason Kelsey said. Fuck them.
Oh, God. His rant there was just so legendary. I would have loved to know if their Vegas had a line. I couldn't find it. But who would have been the first person to curse? I would have put money down on Kelsey. Absolutely, I would put money down on him.
He can't help himself. Even in his speech after the Super Bowl victory, he cursed by accident. He's like, oh man, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, but he was doing it. It's part of his regular vocabulary.
Well, again, like people were like, oh, why is he so mean? He's not mean. Like Eagles fans, the Eagles fans are truly not mean. They're just overly passionate. Yeah. And what you saw there from Kelce was very much the feeling of every Philadelphia Eagles fan I've ever met. And that's why, to me, it was so rewarding to see them win the Super Bowl.
There you go. All right, that's our Super Bowl film. That is Brennan Albert. I am Adrian Fedke. Enjoy. I don't know what we're going to do in the offseason, but we're definitely going to do some college stuff. We're definitely going to scout some guys, so we'll do that. Other than that, we don't know yet, but we'll figure it out.
Keep us around, guys. We appreciate it.
There it is. Take care.